Okay, this is Module 6, Lesson 3, Problem Set. I want to go through and make sure you were able to complete the problem set successfully. So I went through, labeled my x-axis, labeled my y-axis, labeled my origin. I labeled the points along my x-axis and my y-axis. Then I went through, identify all the points that have an x coordinate of 3 1/3. These are the points that all have 3 1/3 on the x. Identify all the points that have the y coordinate of 2 2/3. So all of their y coordinates have 2 2/3 as the y coordinate. Which point is 3 1/3 units above the x-axis? So above the x-axis is really the y, and 2 2/3 at units to the right of the y, which is really the x. Name the point and give the coordinate pair. So how you figure that out is you actually run your fingers along the point. Which point is 3 1/3 units above the x-axis? All right. So above the x-axis would be your y coordinate. Which point is located 5 1/3 units from the x-axis? It's K. Which point is located 1 2/3 units along the x-axis? M. Give the coordinate pair for each of the following points. Name the points at the following coordinates. Which point has equal x and equal y? L. Give the coordinates of the intersection of the two axes. 0, 0. Name another point for this on the plane. It's called the origin. Did you plot these points successfully? Then this right here. What is the distance between E and H? So we go back over here and we find the distance between E and H. Remember, the x's subtract together and the y's subtract together. So when you subtract the x's, you have to go back to what you know about subtracting fractions. Yes, they have a common denominator, but I had to come over here and borrow and then add 3 over 3 because this is 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, 4/3. 4 subtract 2 is 2/3. So the distance between EH is 2 2/3. Then the next problem is find the length. So distance versus length. So I came over here between these H and D. So I had to find H and D. H and D. So I subtracted the x from the x and the y from the y. So the x's, the length, those two cancel each other out. Over here, I had to do the same thing. I had to go over here and borrow. Take 1 away leaves you with 4. Here is really a 1 right here. 3 subtract 2 is 1. 4 subtract 2 is 2. 2 1/3. So the distance between, or the height between HD is 2 1/3 units. Would the length ED be greater or less than EH plus HD? You'll have to compare those two and figure that out. So greater or less. Jack was absent when the teacher explained how to describe the location of a point. So remember, start at the x coordinate and explain starting from the origin. How do you move? Explain that to Jack. All right, good luck. Hopefully you did well.